This tutorial is the second part of our series on using the morph transition. Yes, you can change the size, color or other attributes of shapes such as ovals or rectangles from one slide to another using the morph transition effect as we did in the first part of this morph transitions tutorial series. I'll place a link to the first tutorial of the series in the description below. In this tutorial, we are going to take the morph transition further and do something more fun and more advanced with this. So let's look at a scenario where you want more freedom. What if you want to create your own shapes? You don't want to use the rectangles and ovals and other shapes that PowerPoint provides you with. What if you wanted to create organic looking shapes that animated in a wonderful, wobbly way? Yes, we just asked ourselves so many questions. The great part is that yes, this is all doable and you need nothing else than PowerPoint. So let us first look at what we are trying to achieve. This is what we are trying to achieve. Let's go and play these slides. So we have an organic looking shape here. And we also have the next slide where we've taken the same shape and made some edits to it and added the morph transition effect. So there you see, it's got a wonderful organic shape with a smooth movement. And we also have added a third slide, and again we have edited the shape further and added a morph transition effect. There you go. So what do you need to achieve this sort of effect? First of all, you will need PowerPoint 365, or if you're using a non-subscription version of PowerPoint, then you will need PowerPoint 2019 or later on either the Windows or Mac platforms. We have not tried these techniques in the tablet or phone versions of PowerPoint or even in the browser-based PowerPoint for the web. So if you do try these versions, do share your thoughts in the comments. Now let us get started. You will see that I have a single slide presentation here that is already saved. This is helpful, and I always save the file when I get started because I do not have to worry about finding a save location or providing a name when I'm being creative. Just saving along the way is enough by using the Ctrl+S keyboard shortcut if you're using Windows or Command+S if you are on a Mac. We are going to change the slide layout to blank. To do so, you visit the Home tab of the ribbon and then you click the layout button. This opens up the layout gallery. Over here you'll see a bunch of layouts that are provided by PowerPoint, and you'll see that all the layouts have some collections of placeholders, but there's one layout that has no placeholder, and that is the blank layout. So we're going to choose the blank option. This action provides us with a clean slide that is more conducive to draw. If you want to add placeholder elements to this slide, you can change the slide layout from blank to anything else once you're done with creating your morph animation. Now we are going to use one of PowerPoint's least explored tools, the curve tool. This tool allows PowerPoint to function like an illustration program, almost like a starter version of Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW. To use this tool, we'll bring up the Insert tab of the ribbon, and then we will click the Shapes button to bring up the Shapes gallery that you can see here. In the upwards area here, you'll see the Lines category. We will choose the Curve Line tool, which is the third last option within the Lines category. Before we create something that uses the morph tool, let us look at the curve line tool itself. You click once to start drawing. So I'm going to click here once. Then you do not press the cursor at all on your left or right mouse button, nor do you drag and draw. You just need to click one after the other to establish points. If you have played with the Connect the Dots book, you know there are dots and you just draw lines between those dots. So what we're going to do with the curve line tool is establish those dots. So let's go and do that. You need to click once to establish your first drawing point. And then you go and keep clicking when you want to establish further points. As you can see, you can't see those points here, but we'll show you later in this tutorial how to go and see those points. Once I'm done drawing what I wanted to draw, I'm just going to double click and my shape freeform organic shape is created. Let's move this and keep it elsewhere and have a clean area here. But what if I want to create a shape that's closed, where the lines are not separate like an open shape here? What if I want a closed shape? That's doable as well. So I'm going to go, and now I'm in the home tab, and you see the shapes gallery here again, and I can see my curve tool here. So I'm going to select the curve tool here. I'm going to click once to establish a starting point, and I'm going to draw again and press a click again and again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come close to my starting point. The moment I come close to my original starting point, you will see a live preview of the shape filled with the default color. If this is what we want, we will just single click, we won't double click. We will just go close here, and we can see a live preview of a filled closed shape. We're just going to single click to create and close our shape. Now what we're going to do is, I want to now that we've actually looked at how to use the curve tool, let's go and create a shape for using the morph transition. So I'm going to select both these shapes and I'm going to delete them. I have the curve tool selected again. I'm going to establish my first point here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to travel in a southeastern direction, and I'm going to click once. Then we're going to travel leftwards to create something that looks like a part of a triangle, as you can see here. Okay, and click once more. We've already clicked thrice to establish 3 points. We no longer need any points, but we need to close the shape. So we will move closer to the original point until we see a live preview of a closed shape, and then we're going to click once to close the shape. This is a cool shape that's also simple at the same time. Now let us duplicate this slide. To do so, we will select the slide within the slides pane and click the Ctrl+D keyboard shortcut. If you are using Windows, if you're using a Mac, we will use the Command-D keyboard shortcut to achieve the same results. So let's go and press Ctrl+D, and we duplicated our slide. Do you want to discover more keyboard shortcuts? Then get a copy of our PowerPoint keyboard shortcuts and sequences ebook. I will leave a link to the ebook page in the description area below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching this video embedded elsewhere, click on the video itself to reach the YouTube page. Now, getting back to our duplicated slide, we will select a shape that we drew using the curve line tool. So we're going to select the shape, and then we're going to right click. And you have an option here called Edit Points in the resultant contextual menu. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see the 3 points. These are just the 3 places where we clicked to establish our 3 points. In other illustration programs, these points are also known as vertexes. So what we can do is we can select any of these points. Let me go and select one of these points. The moment you select the point, you see 1 or 2 handles depending on what type of point you have. Okay, and when you can take any of these handles and drag them as you want, and you can see this changes the shape. I don't want this change to happen as yet, so I'm just going to press Ctrl+Z, the keyboard shortcut on Windows, to undo. If you were using a Mac, you would use the Command-Z keyboard shortcut. So since I did 2 actions, I had to press Ctrl+Z twice. What you can also do is you can also take the point itself rather than the handles and drag it wherever you want. And this will reorient the shape in a completely different way. Let's go and press Ctrl+Z and undo this action as well. What I want to do now is not drag the handles or the point itself, but work with a segment. What is a segment? A segment is a line between 2 points. So if this is a point and then we have another point here, the line that you see between these 2 points is called a segment. So all we're going to do is we're going to go to the line segment between these 2 points, and we're just going to drag it out, and there you go. Did you notice that when we actually dragged the segment, it actually created a point automatically at that point in time? Now let us duplicate the second slide too, so that we end up with 3 slides. This time I'm not going to use a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to right click on the slides pane and choose the duplicate slide option. This is another way of duplicating your slide. So what we have learned, the 3 techniques that we have learned. We've learned working with the handles that show up when you select the point. Let me just go and show that to you. These are the handles. We will learn to position and reposition to the point itself to reorient the shape, and we've learned that we can just take a part of the segment and drag it so that it reorients the shape itself and adds a new point at the same time. Now let's adding a new point altogether using a different technique. Right click on the part of the segment where you want to add a point, like here, and you will get a contextual menu. In this menu, click the add point option to insert a new point on the position where you clicked. Yes, now we have a new point. You can now edit the shape by dragging the handles. That's here. You can drag the point itself. Okay, but what we're going to do this time is we are going to use the handles. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to pull this handle out a little here, and I'm going to pull the second handle also outwards. Keep practicing how you want to pull the handles. Depending on where you're dragging and pulling them, you will have different results. Playing around with that, these options is going to really make you perfect, and practice is something you need for using the curve tool. It may look very simple, but there's a lot of science behind this, so play around and you will learn better. Let's make sure we save this presentation at regular intervals by using the Ctrl+S keyboard shortcut. If you're using a Mac, you would use Command+S to do the same result. We next go to Slide Sorter View. You can access Slide Sorter View by clicking its icon on the status bar. This is the one. Or you can also access the View tab of the ribbon and click the Slide Sorter button. You can also use a keyboard sequence. Now we are in Slide Sorter View. Let's get back to normal view and show you what's a keyboard sequence. For Slide Sorter View, going to Slide Sorter View, there's no keyboard shortcut. But PowerPoint has a concept of keyboard sequences. So let me just play it for you. I'm going to press the Alt and W keys together, and then I'm just going to, Alt and W, and I'm going to press I, and that gets us to the Slide Sorter View. Keyboard sequences are different than keyboard shortcuts, and our ebook has a listing of several keyboard sequences and commands that don't have shortcut keys allocated by PowerPoint. In Slide Sorter View, where we are now, press the Ctrl+A keyboard shortcut to select all slides in PowerPoint for Windows, or if you're using a Mac, you would use the Command+A keyboard shortcut. Or if you don't have anything selected and you don't want to use Ctrl+A because you may have 6 slides and you only want to select 3 of them. In that case, you can just Ctrl-click every individual slide that you want to select, as we did now. Now we will access the Transitions tab of the ribbon. Open up the Transitions gallery here, and then choose the Morph Transition effect. Since you've selected all 3 slides, the Morph Transition effect will be applied to all 3 of them. In the Effect Options drop-down list, there are 3 options: Objects, Words, and Characters. We will choose the Objects option, which is selected by default. We will soon upload similar tutorials on using the Words and Characters options. To be notified when newer videos are uploaded to this channel, click the subscribe button, and do not forget to click the bell icon to be notified when there is a new video uploaded. Getting back to the Morph transition, you can set a transition duration. Here you can see that the default is set for 2 seconds, but we are going to opt for 3 seconds. And you can choose whatever works for you. You may want a transition to happen faster or slower. Also be aware that I'm choosing the same duration, effect options, and the same transition for all 3 slides. And that's happening because all 3 of them are selected when I'm making the changes. There's no reason why you cannot customize these options separately for all slides. So let's go and save our presentation again. I can press the save button in the quick access toolbar. I can go and choose File Save, or I could also press the Ctrl+S keyboard shortcut or Command+S if I am on the Mac. Now let's play our slides and test them. Okay, so let's go and play our presentation in Slideshow View. Again, Slideshow View can be accessed from the status bar. I can press the F5 keyboard shortcut, or I can also go to the View tab of the ribbon and say, that's the Slideshow tab of the ribbon, and say From Beginning. And there you go. This is our first slide, this is our second slide, and this is our third slide. Did you have fun watching this tutorial? I hope to see you again. Have a rewarding day.
Explore more concepts at Indezine.com.
Indezine.
Make better presentations. Fast.